Welcome to Body Charge podcast. My name is Sanderson. I'm your host, and I'd like to welcome aboard today Bastianon. He is a health coach, fitness trainer, and massage therapist extraordinaire, and has been using electromagnesium products for quite some time now. He's developed quite a unique system in his business to help people achieve their goals in health and fitness. And he's here to share with us some of his secrets today in how to do that. So, Alex, welcome. And I'd like to start off by asking you what's your business about and what do you do in it?
Okay, so my business, I guess I'm in the business of helping people physically, mentally, or energetically as well. As you know, we're not just a physical lump of meat and bone, but we are electric beings with energy and information flowing through us all the time. So I believe it's important to look at that aspect as much as the training and nutrition side of things. So basically, I started off in the fitness and health industry approximately just over 10 years now. So personal training and massage, and then along the way, I've developed and gotten into other modalities such as sound bowl healing, healing frequencies, microcurrent therapy, meditation, and a big passion of mine is structured water. So I like to educate people, also research structured water and how that affects basically cellular hydration. So you're actually getting hydrated properly from the inside out.
Oh, water is
And
very important. Yeah.
yes, exactly right. So that's one of the reasons why I'm drawn to you guys and your product, because you understand the importance of structured water and how the magnesium evaporated and that kind of high quality that you guys have sourced is able to increase the structure of water and basically bring dead water back to life, which is so
Yes.
crucial to health.
Yeah, so water has amazing characteristics, and there's been a lot of water research recently with Professor Gerald Pollack. He's brought out a number of books. The most recent one, The Fourth Phase of Water, and
Mhm.
it's about how water becomes structured and it changes its characteristics and what it can do depending on the solutes in it. So what's dissolved in the water then changes what the water can do in any living organism. So it's quite fascinating. So what we do with the magnesium flakes, by putting a pinch back in your liter bottle of filtered water, so filtered water is empty, it's like a blank slate. When we charge it up with the electrolytes, that pinch of flakes mimics what would be in natural spring water. So when you're drinking the water coming down from the mountain stream, carrying the minerals, and we drink that spring water, we're getting a whole range of different minerals, trace minerals, complementary, and a large part of that, of course, is magnesium chloride. And it's essential for life. Life itself cannot exist without magnesium. So this is the right form for us to digest it orally, which is actually a very light dose. It's a very small amount of magnesium, certainly not all the magnesium you would use in your body, but it makes the water work so much better when it has that charge and so much more hydrating. Don't you feel great when you have a sip and your brain just lights up and you just feel so good afterwards?
Exactly. Yeah, because it's able to carry that electricity around the body. So your brain runs off electricity, and it makes sense that you're going to get such a powerful result. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So it helps us to conduct and move that electricity to where it needs to go. And I noticed also in your resume that you do the muscle therapy with the electricity, what do you call that?
Microcurrent therapy.
Microcurrent
Yeah.
therapy. Yeah, so stimulating the muscles. How does that work? What's the mechanical action of it?
Okay. Yeah, it's quite a big topic, but microcurrent therapy is basically you're using electrodes mainly through the wrists or the ears or sticky pads on certain parts of the body. And microcurrent therapy is different to a TENS machine. TENS machine uses a much higher voltage and can create problems and make the problem worse if you use it too often for too long. So basically, a TENS machine is great for just relieving pain immediately. But if you want to help heal the body, increase the ATP production, increase the cellular communication, remove toxins, and allow the cells to absorb nutrients and oxygen into the cell, then specific microcurrent therapy is the way to go, because the microcurrent is a lot more gentler and it actually matches the same kind of voltage that the cells use on a cellular level.
Yes, keyword being micro.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, so
Yeah.
you're not going to overdo it or overstimulate, because of course, if you use too much of anything, it can become stressful. And we want to avoid the stress. We want to help the body recover by not having stress, by allowing it to regenerate naturally and gently. Because when we're sick or injured, the body wants to rest, because all the resources, they go away from digestion and other things that you do, and everything's moved towards healing and repair. And a lot of energy is used for that. So helping to support the body energetically in a gentle way so it can rest and recover is ideal. And so what kind of clients would you have typically that would come to use that therapy?
Well, it's very broad. So there's frequencies for everything. There's frequencies for your mind, frequencies for your muscles, for your organs, for your tissues, for anti-aging, for collagen, more collagen absorption, protein synthesis, relaxation, detoxing. So the main ones, I guess, come to me for aches and pains, muscle recovery, a lot of migraines and neck tension, lower back pain. If they've got an injury and there's a lot of inflammation, there's frequencies that are going to help remove the inflammation and allow the cells to heal faster naturally. But basically, general muscular pain, aches and pains, migraines, and stress.
So would they be like athletes, younger people having injuries, or would they be more mature people? You know, when you midlife, you get more aches and pains.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter what age you are, because we all need frequencies. So usually it's late teens from 20 up to late 70s into the 80s.
So of course, younger people can have pain, which are growing pains, can't they?
Yeah, a lot of types of pains, especially if it's induced by too much training. A lot of the young ones are hitting the gym quite early and probably don't have that guidance that they should have for safe training and knowing when to stop and when's enough. So they can easily overexert.
You can overdo it, can't you?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and the repercussions of overdoing it can be quite serious. I know athletes who have been very diligent and very tough trainers with a tough regime, and they end up with things like osteopenia. You know, these are bone disorders eventually leading to osteoporosis. So it's a demineralization of the bones because they're constantly using up their resources and not replacing enough.
Exactly right. Especially if they're drinking tap water or bottled water and they're not using the magnesium flakes to remineralize the water. Otherwise, the body is going to pull minerals out of their bones, tissues, and cells to make that water actually usable. Otherwise, it's dead.
Yes, and a lot of the tap water in Australia in the major cities is fluoridated. So it has chlorine and fluoride in it, both of which kill your beneficial gut bacteria. So that can interfere with digestion. If you have problems with digestion, you're not absorbing all the nutrients that you're consuming in the food. And the other thing is that fluoride is stored. I don't know if you know, but only 50% of it approximately is excreted, and the rest is stored in your tissue cells, particularly bone and calcified tissues of the body. So the harder tissues store the fluoride, and fluoride is really tightly binding of heavy metals. So it's going to hold in heavy metals longer in the body and prevent you from excreting them. And also binds up magnesium. It's notorious. It's a really black hat element, and it's not a nutrient at all. It's a poison. It's a toxin, and it will bind up and steal your magnesium. So the bad thing is, if you have too much fluoride and not enough magnesium, the bad guy's going to win the fight because it's going to be stronger. If you can reduce or minimize the amount of fluoride you're getting, so, you know, be aware, and where you know the fluoride's in there, don't have it. and improve or increase the amount of magnesium that your body is receiving, so that magnesium can become your cell defender. And so when magnesium and fluoride bind, they form an insoluble compound. So magnesium fluoride is not soluble enough to get inside the cells, which is great because then the body can more easily excrete it. And so it's very, very important to reduce the fluoride and increase the magnesium for better protection of your bones, your tissue cells. Everything depends on having enough magnesium for cell metabolism and energy production. So guess what's at the bottom of a lot of diseases today, and degenerative diseases in particular, is not getting enough energy, the energy for healing. Exactly, the voltage for healing. So you're in a really good space to help people, teach them and educate them and show them how they can be self-empowered, how they can look after their bodies and protect their health, so that they don't fall into the trap of needing a lot of drugs or medication or even surgery. If you can maintain your health and not need to go down that path, isn't it so much better?
Exactly.
That you're in control, and that's very empowering for people. So good on you for doing all that great work. I'm sure you're a great massage therapist as well. Do you specialize in any particular modality, like a particular type of massage?
A lot of, I guess, aches and pains, lower back pain, headaches and tension headaches, migraines. A lot of people get stiff neck, tight traps. So I've been able to be pretty good at releasing all that. And if they walk in with a migraine that they've had for 3 days straight, they usually walk out migraine free. So that's pretty cool. And while I'm obviously massaging, I'm using the Elektra magnesium creams. And it's kind of a double whammy because they're getting a magnesium therapy hit. There's quite a lot of creams being used. It's going into their body. They're absorbing it. It's going into the muscles that they need. The deep tissue action is creating a lot of heat and stimulation, circulation. So it's kind of like pushing the magnesium in, moving it around and penetrating where it needs to go.
It goes much deeper when you're using massage because you're stimulating the lymph. So the lymph is a protein waste garbage disposal system. And it only moves with movement, with exercise. So you either have to exercise to move it or physically move it via massage. And then it dumps the wastes via the liver into the intestine for removal in the feces. Or if something is blocking that part of your elimination system, it can start to come out in the skin. So it can lead to abscesses and pimples and rashes and a lot of skin disorders. And it's all about cleansing, isn't it? It's really, health is all about garbage removal, and putting the good nutrients in to build new cells, isn't it? It's just those two things. If you get that right, you're fine.
Exactly right. If you can eliminate as many toxins as you can and flush the toxins that are already in there and really look after your liver, which is your main processing plant, and that's the one organ that gets forgotten about, that is literally saving your life every single day. So try and heal your liver, cut back on
diet. Good diet. And a lot of people don't drink enough water. So, like with your washing machine, you have a rinse cycle. You need water for the rinse cycle. Otherwise, things get stuck and then they get putrefied. You start to walk around like a compost heap, and then you start to smell a lot, and that's no good.
That's true. And then that creates a toxic environment, which is great for inflammation and disease to start to spread, and things like cancer as well, that loves toxins and loves inflammation and loves low voltage.
Cancer is a pollution problem. A priori, number one reason for cancer to form is that the body has trouble eliminating properly, and it cannot detox itself properly. It needed help. And it didn't get help for a long time. Usually it's a chronic problem that's developed over many years and finally becomes so bad that the cells become acidic from the decomposition of those toxins. And so you get more free radicals, you get more acidity, and that's a perfect environment for bad pathogens, microbes that come in and want to eat you for lunch. going, oh, this is a great place for us to come and, we'll feast on all the spoils that you haven't been able to get rid of.
Yeah.
So candida and lots of, bacteria and microorganisms that do, then their poop creates more
Hmm.
toxic waste and then puts an extra burden on the system as well. So
Mm.
cleaning from the inside out is absolutely paramount for
Yeah.
good health.
Yeah. Yeah. You're 100% right, because those pathogens and bugs will feed off the heavy metals or toxins and waste. Then the waste that's created from those pathogens can leach out into the skin and cause anything from redness to pimples to psoriasis to eczema.
Yes.
And people aren't realizing that it's on a cellular level, but also it's the bugs that are feeding on what they're putting in their body.
Yeah, classic example is an overgrowth of candida is often associated with too much mercury accumulation in the cells. Mercury and candida go together like a hand and a glove. And mercury is very good at hiding itself from some of the tests. You can't necessarily, you have to get a really good biopsy, a tissue sample test to be able to
Yep.
find it, because once the candida swallow the mercury, it becomes invisible to a lot of tests. So
Mhm.
people could, uh, practitioners then have to go a lot with symptoms to see what the pattern of symptoms are to give them an indication. And there are also things you can do like organic acids tests, um, where you'd give a urine sample to a lab and they can analyze that. But yeah, it's a serious problem now, mercury accumulation, because it's in fish and seafood, and
Yep.
it's it's
In the
in
water.
it's in the jabs. It's
Mhm.
in
Yes. Yeah.
it's ubiquitous because yeah, it's in the food supply, and mercury amalgam fillings. Uh, it's in industrial applications and
Mhm.
sometimes in medications, even it's used as a preservative. So there are many vectors, and even though each vector might be, oh, it's only a tiny little trace amount, you have to think of the accumulation of all of that over time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's really stubborn to get rid of. The body finds it very difficult to get rid of mercury once in the
Yeah.
body. And so,
Mm.
the older we get, the worse the problem gets.
Mhm.
So the more we can clean and cleanse and also look after our gut health, because we need the good microorganisms to also help us detox. And there are those that help um, eliminate those toxic metals as well, and help us make neurotransmitters and enzymes. Oh, you need magnesium to make glutathione and
Mhm.
superoxide dismutase. These are really two important, very, very, very important detoxing enzymes that have a very strong antioxidant effect to neutralize the acids
Mhm.
and chelate and grab onto and help us eliminate them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it's a revolving door sometimes. If you've got too many heavy metals, that they block the activity of those detoxification enzymes. So we need to really ramp up magnesium a lot in those cases where there's a toxic problem, and people
Mhm.
don't realize they can need 1,000 milligram a day or more
Mm.
for the body to start helping itself to heal and recover and eliminate. And extra things like, of course, very good detoxing diets, and like lots of vegetables for a while. There are really good vegetable diets to help cleanse and recover, and
Yeah.
and your lymphatic massage, drainage, um, and maybe a mild
Even
exercise.
rebounding.
Rebounding, I'll explain about rebounding.
Oh, that's just another form of great, easy exercise, but it really targets lymph circulation in the body. So it's basically one of those little trampolines. You just jump up and down
Oh,
quite
yes,
gently.
yes. Cool, those little mini ones.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yep.
used to have one many years ago, and I had to get a better bra to help strap myself in.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, it was
I don't
just
know what
after
that
I'd
is.
had a baby, and that wasn't good for my pelvic
Yeah.
floor. But anyway, that's because I needed more exercise. So it's
Yeah.
good. You can help people from all round, from many different levels, from physical, from muscular to diet, and the micro electrocurrent therapies.
Mhm.
It really does require a holistic approach using many different methods, because you can't,
Yes.
drive with the brakes on. You can't go and have your vitamin C and then go out for a smoke, go out the back. People have to
Yeah.
really realize that If they're really serious about health, you've got to do the whole lot. You've got to
Mhm.
really, and you can still enjoy your little treats,
Mm.
a beer every now and again, or, just don't overdo things. A
Yeah.
couple of pieces of dark chocolate. You don't have to be 100% Puritan,
Mhm.
but really minimize those vectors that can get in with toxic elements, and make sure you increase all the good stuff so you have plenty
Mhm.
of defense. It's all about
Mm.
self-defense and allowing your body the time to recover if you've overdone things.
Yeah, exactly right. So as long as they, for the first period, for the first few months, 6 months or more, they're eliminating all the rubbish, giving their body a chance to heal and recover, then you can, start to treat yourself and enjoy life,
So that's what you
obviously.
do with your coaching, isn't it? So do you coach people also psychologically? It's like a very much a mind thing as well. People might
Yeah.
find it helpful to have someone. It's like, I guess, Alcoholics Anonymous always works when you've got that social aspect where someone's
Mhm.
with you on that program and paying attention. And
Yep.
it's so much harder to do all by yourself, isn't it? When you've got
Yep.
like big goals to reach.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just a matter of making them accountable, and they got to show up each week and take on that advice and implement it into their daily activities. Because sometimes, they might be with a partner who doesn't really care. They want to eat what they want to eat. They want to do what they want to do. So they feel like they're on their own. That's why it's really important to have um, a personal trainer or some sort of health coach who knows what they're doing, but understands how difficult it can be to make big lifestyle changes. But the key is to always start small. So change your water. Okay, filter your water, but remineralize it with the magnesium. Um, increase some exercise. For me, definitely cut out as much dairy as you can and start implementing more fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
Um,
Good sleep,
minimize
good
dairy
good
fats.
good sleep patterns as well.
Yep.
If you don't get enough sleep, it's extremely stressful on the cells.
Mhm.
Um,
That's true.
yeah, because your brain needs time to go through the proper sleep cycles, deep sleep cycles, to clean out the toxins and wastes. Otherwise, you just feel like crap the next day. You have to have a really good sleep. And if the sleep is disturbed, just use extra magnesium. Foot soaks are very helpful before bed,
Mhm.
and calming magnesium massage before bed as well. And don't eat your meal too late at night. I found that quite helpful. Let's say after 6, it's really takes too much time and effort to digest,
Yep.
and then you've got your metabolism's too high. Whereas at night, you want to wind your metabolism down so that it helps you move into a nice deep sleep state. So maybe some herbal teas and meditation and some of your sound therapy, the
Yes.
singing bowls.
Mm.
Explain a few of those uh, strategies to help relax the body as well.
Yeah, they're great points. So, yeah, definitely eat earlier if you can. Change your lighting. I've got like 4 or 5 salt lamps in my room. So, I use salt lamps at night. I don't like to use, especially the fluorescent lamps or bright halogens or anything like that. So just dim light, some nice healing music, and you can probably just YouTube Tibetan sound healing bowls, or any kind of frequency healing music that kind of just calms your mind and your nervous system. So low lighting, try and get into a meditative, relaxed state if you can. Listen to some music, do a bit of reading, keep away from the phone because all that bright light and images and
Yes,
mental stimulation
the
pretty bad.
electromagnetic fields are very disturbing to sleep.
Mhm.
Do not sleep in the bedroom with anything plugged into the power point. Rule number one for getting a good night's sleep, because you don't realize, you could be bathing in these electromagnetic fields that keep stimulating and stopping you from getting to
Yeah.
deep sleep levels. And
Yeah.
also close off all the light coming in, pull the curtains and blinds across, and try and keep it as dark as possible, because the darkness then helps trigger the pineal gland to make the melatonin, and that's your really great antioxidant for the brain to clean up mess in the brain
Mhm.
and help you wake up feeling very refreshed.
Yeah, yeah, and also a bit of earthing. So if people want a free microcurrent treatment, drink some water, throw some magnesium flakes in the water first. So you're increasing that cellular voltage and nutrients. But just stick your feet on the earth, and if you can, half an hour to an hour, and that way you're going to get a natural healing frequency microcurrent therapy from the ground up, because the earth is discharging an electric current, which is very harmonizing for every cell and organ in your body, and that'll help you get to sleep.
So I also like to, after I've done my yoga stretches at night, I like to stick my nose out the window into the cold night air and do deep breathing. I just like to take huge deep breaths until I get to a little bit of a lightheaded stage. I've watched a few of the Wim Hof videos, so he does a lot more than that. But it really brought home the fact that we need that oxygen hit, because a lot of the time we're sitting in front of the computer too long, we're in the wrong posture, but the body's not getting enough oxygen, enough circulation in an office job, for instance.
Exactly. And no vitamin D. They got fluorescent lighting.
Yes.
And it's just absolutely horrible for the nervous system.
Disastrous.
So vitamin D in the sun, best thing you can do.
Yep. So go out in the lunchtime sun, especially in the winter, it's a bit weaker, so you can take a little bit more than normal. And you start to feel like you got your skin is like solar panels recharging. It feels so good just to get that sunlight on the skin. So use the magnesium cream before you go on the sun. Did you know that it helps to make the vitamin D in the skin? Because your skin needs, it needs the cholesterol sulfate. So cholesterol comes from fats in the plants and oils and butters, and the magnesium for the metabolism, for the mitochondria of the cells. So everything comes together inside the skin and is activated by the full spectrum sunlight to then make the vitamin D. And it's very skin protective as well. And you end up looking more beautiful longer.
Good point. I didn't actually know that. I actually used the magnesium cream. If I've gotten sunburnt, I'll put the magnesium cream on straight away. And
good for recovery. Yes.
Yeah, the speed in recovery is awesome.
Yeah, it's about giving the skin the nutrition, because what happens is if the skin dries you up too much, you've lost so much moisture, it becomes much more vulnerable then to the radiation. So a little bit of radiation is essential. The radiation then stimulates the production of melanin. So you get a little bit of skin color, and the skin color, the melanin, is actually really powerful antioxidant as well. So it's protective. And people have the highest melanin levels in their skin. So the darker the skin color, the less likely you are to get skin cancer or other issues like eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, skin inflammations in general, because they've got more melanin to protect them. So just using your fake tan won't help.
No, I wouldn't get near that if I was someone wanting to get a tan, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't touch a lot of sunblocks either, by the way, because they're not regulated and there's too many chemicals in there for my liking. So what I do is I still get my sun exposure, but I don't sit out there till I get burnt. And I make sure if I'm going to be out there a long time, try to use more clothing.
Yes, sensible.
If I am stuck. Yeah.
Just be sensible about it. There are people with different skin types, and those with darker skin can stay out longer without getting the damage. And so if you have very fair skin, of course, you've got to minimize the time, and you know what that is for yourself from your own personal experience. So we get that very, very super light pink color. You need to not let it go any further than that. And make sure you put on a lot of magnesium cream afterwards, and you'll find that it's a faster change to the nice tanny color, that nice melanin generation happens more efficiently and faster when you've got the help of the nutrients in the magnesium cream. Your body can do that job better, rather than if you let it stay dry and without any support, the skin then suffers, and you can go into blistering, which is very bad. So you want to, if you forget and you make a mistake, you want to really lather it on thick. And my daughters have done that in the past, because, sometimes been reading something and they've forgotten and it's got a bit too red, and they've put on really thick amounts and they've been able to avoid having the damage, and it just
Yep.
goes nice and tanned afterwards. But don't push it too far.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely don't stay out and get burnt. Then the damage is already done.
Yeah, that's right. So, Alex, in concluding, would you like to add anything to let people know about, your services and what you can do for them and where they can reach you if they want to connect with you?
Okay, yeah. So if people are interested in probably, I guess, more the microcurrent therapy, which covers quite a lot and also has the resonance side of things. So I can scan people's chakras and auric field, and I can recommend what programs that they need most right now, just through reading their bioenergetic field, which is what this little device can do. So they can contact me via email or through the Facebook link, which I think you're going to provide at the
Yes, we'll do
Intensity.
that as well. So yes, your business is called Intensity with an S, Intensity. Train, Heal, Grow. And that's your Facebook. Yeah, if you can even search that on the Facebook and get to Alex, but we'll also put it in underneath in the notes. So thank you very much for this.
We'll leave an email in there too.
Yep, will do. So thanks very much for this lovely chat. I'm sure people will get a lot out of it. And
No worries.
we'll see you again soon. Have a good one.
Thank you, Sandy. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.